In this video, we're covering the dopamine paradox. Why do some people take a stimulant to focus and end up even more tired than before? I'm going to show you how dopamine, a molecule we usually associate with motivation and energy, can flip the switch the other way if you overshoot the system. And I'll give you 5 practical levers to help you hit the sweet spot. Welcome to the Dopamine Goldilocks Rule, the brain's way of saying, too hot, too cold, I'm going to bed. I'm Dr. Sanil Rege, consultant psychiatrist and educator. Over the past decade, I've trained over 10,000 psychiatrists, GPs, and mental health professionals through live masterclasses, online courses, and clinical education. And I've seen this dopamine trap confuse patients and clinicians again and again. So let's clear it up, because dopamine isn't just about going up. It's about balance. In this episode, you'll learn the real difference between tonic and phasic dopamine, the Goldilocks curve, and why more dopamine is not equal to more focus, the brain's built-in safety brake that can put you to sleep, and 5 clinical strategies to stay sharp without crashing. Stick around, because in the second half, I'll show you how adenosine debt quietly sabotages your energy, even when dopamine is high. So let's start off with basics, because they're almost always misunderstood. Think of dopamine like your brain's signal strength. Tonic dopamine is the baseline, your brain's resting hum. It keeps your prefrontal cortex online and working. Phasic dopamine is the burst. It fires when something grabs your attention, tells you, this matters, act now. So picture it. Tonic is the steady wave. Phasic is the sharp spike. Tonic keeps your focus steady. Phasic is the ping that gets you moving. But if phasic spikes hit too hard, too often, the system burns out. Your brain starts pulling the plug to protect itself. It's not that your brain's lazy, it's protecting you from overload. So now let's talk about the Goldilocks curve. The porridge, not too cold, not too hot, just right. The same with dopamine, not too little, not too much, just right. Low dopamine, you feel sluggish. Just right, you're alert, focused, and in flow. Too much dopamine, your brain floods. Signal to noise ratio tanks. You can't focus. You feel jittery, foggy, or paradoxically, dull and sleepy. Why? Because the brain has safety switches. When dopamine overshoots, it hits the D2 autoreceptors. These are the brakes. And the alpha-2A receptors in your midbrain. These are circuit breakers. When the system surges, they shut things down. So instead of more energy, you get less. That's why some people, when they take dexamphetamine or methylphenidate, and we see them 30 minutes later, they're yawning. Now stay with me, because in a few minutes we'll talk about the molecule that really decides when you crash. And that's adenosine. But before that, there's another twist. You see that dopamine flood also suppresses 2 powerful brain systems that keep you awake. Orexin from the lateral hypothalamus and histamine from the tuberomammillary nucleus. These are your brain's natural wake drivers. But when dopamine and noradrenaline spike too high, they send inhibitory signals to shut those systems down. So you feel wired, but your biological wakefulness circuits, they've left the building. This is why people describe that weird mix of being wired and tired, overstimulated and exhausted, the crash and burn, because that's what's happening. The surface is buzzing, but the core is shutting down. Now, let's talk about the molecule that decides when you're done, adenosine. Every time your neurons fire, they burn ATP, your brain's energy currency. As ATP breaks down, adenosine builds up. This is what sleep scientists call the homeostatic pressure. It's what happens when we've stayed up too long. Sleep debt accumulates, which is really the adenosine buildup. And that's when we crash. It's your brain's way of saying, you've been up too long. You're going to rest whether you like it or not. Even if dopamine is high. If adenosine is higher, you'll feel tired, foggy, and drained. You see, caffeine is an adenosine antagonist. It blocks adenosine. But when it wears off, the crash is worse, because adenosine has been piling up in the background. Think of stimulants like swiping a credit card. Adenosine is the bill. Ignore it and the debt collectors, fatigue, brain fog, they come knocking. It's like paying with a credit card all day. Eventually, the bill comes due and we've got to pay real cash. Let me give you some real-world examples I see in the clinic. An anxious professional on immediate-release dexamphetamine who's already hyper-aroused is overstimulated and is crashing. A gamer after an all-nighter, an adenosine mountain takes dexamphetamine to power through the day. This is overstimulation. The individual's going to power off midday. A patient whose lisdexamphetamine or Vyvanse doses keep rising simply because they crash in the afternoon. Over time, they crash even earlier. The solution here isn't to keep increasing the doses. What's important to understand here is that the brakes have been stepped on. These examples aren't rare. Once you understand what's happening, it becomes easier to address it. So here are 5 ways to hit the sweet spot. First, smooth the spike. Switch immediate-release dexamphetamine or methylphenidate to long-acting forms, like lisdexamphetamine or Concerta or Ritalin long-acting. Fewer peaks, fewer crashes. Second, refill the tank. A crucial element here is ferritin. Ensure iron studies are carried out. Ensure ferritin stays above 75 micrograms per liter. Implement a tyrosine-rich breakfast and stay hydrated. Third, sync with your body clock. Dose early, ideally within 30 minutes of waking. Avoid late-day spikes. And fourth, if augmentation is considered, add a tonic, not a spike. These can include non-stimulants, clonidine, guanfacine, atomoxetine, some cases even armodafinil. Sometimes the solution isn't more. It's about being smarter with synergy. So here's the reframe. Dopamine doesn't just energize you. It regulates how much energy your brain allows. Too little and you can't start, but too much and the system shuts down to survive. Remember, it's not about stimulation, it's about stability. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you're a clinician who wants to go deeper into topics like this, dopamine, ADHD, the neurobiology, and advanced psychopharmacology, check out our course at the Academy by Psychiatrist. It's a learning platform that we've built for psychiatrists, GPs, and mental health professionals, connecting neuroscience to real-world practice. The tools that I wish I'd learned in training. I'm Dr. Sanil Rege, and thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay balanced, and stay right in the dopamine Goldilocks zone.